Thank God it's Friday. Welcome to the show. I am Mariah Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. Hello, Ubiajilu.
Hi.
How are you? I love the hair.
Okay, thank
you. Should go to a party afterwards.
I wish. I'm doing amazing. I'm doing great. I'm excited. The care mentorship program starts tomorrow.
Yay! I hope we got some new people in the last 24 hours.
Yeah, some people are still saying, okay, we'll register before today runs out because registration is actually ending today. Yeah. But I'm very excited about it. I was looking at my slides and everything, and I was like, wow. Okay, I know that I'm just starting this, and with this sort of content that I have in the next few years, when I collect my certificates that I'm waiting to collect, the price will go up.
Yes, sir.
You people should use me now that you are seeing me for free. It's not for everybody. If you are now that it's affordable, thank you so much. Use me like you, as you're seeing me, you know. Yes. But I'm really excited. I have participants ready for the training, and it's something that I know will continue, something that I know, like I'm giving myself, I'm taking time out from every other thing I'm doing to just hold people's hand and see how they can succeed in every aspect of life. So I'm really, like, I feel like I'm called to do this. I'm excited. I'm really excited, yeah.
Well done. Fantastic. Alaja Nima Akasha Zibiri.
It was grateful to
One day you go to this Hajj. I've heard before. Very soon.
You know, the Hajj will call me.
Yes,
I'm sure of that. I'm sure when it calls me,
you will go.
It's beautiful calling.
Yes.
I'm not one of those that say,
easy.
Go and wear good teeth and come and do Alaja. That's not. I want to go the way my parents went. I'm always saying it. I want Hajj to call me.
It won't be bad.
It will be bad. I would never put it on. I want to go when my God is ready for me. But you know, when you have the intentions to go for the Hajj, even if the means does not come yet, it means that you have the reward for the Hajj, because the intention is always rewarded in Islam. So I'm good. I'm just grateful to God.
I didn't mind, Mariam. You look like I'm when you're with down, you're like really like this small little
feeling
puppy.
really unwell.
Sorry.
Yesterday I canceled some appointments that were so important, but you know, I guess we try. I thought I wasn't going to be able to make it here. Yeah. I didn't just want to leave the three of you, you know.
Yeah.
I would have missed you so much. Yes, you know. So I had to come. But you know, I have to be I'm so grateful for my mom. Yeah, you know, sometimes you forget, because she does not live with me. She was constantly checking up on me, checking my temperature, making sure I'm taking the right things. You know, I've forgotten how it is to be pampered and nurtured. So thank you, Mommy. I love you so much. Yeah.
I'm envious.
Okay, so
how are you doing?
I'm doing
before you run off now. Tell us time has gone.
So my husband's friend, childhood friend, her name is Nkechi Anyanwu. She sent me this hair yesterday. Thank you so much. Sweetie.
Wow.
You know, Nke's hair. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I've never really had a short thingy like that. Well, I've had a short.
I like the pixie cut.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And our MMs.
Yeah, it's really beautiful.
Really nice.
I've been dressed up today.
Yeah.
Okay, what's happening this weekend? We have about 1 more minute. Anything happening this weekend? My kids have been ill. Went to the hospital. Almost all the children there are coughing. Is it only me?
No, it's the weather. I think it's the weather.
They're really, really coughing.
I'm coughing a bit too.
Yeah.
This weekend, okay, it's next weekend. Gufran is taking part in athletics in the inter-house sports. And my little boy, you know, my children are champions. This sport, so they come home and I'm racing, I'm this and that. So I'm looking forward to it. She had 2 silvers at the last one, so I'm hoping she gets a gold.
Wow.
Or 2 golds.
All right,
let's silver, which we can also.
Silver is cool too.
Yes, now.
Even if you don't win, it's still okay.
Nobody wants to be the tail.
Nobody they put the work now. Nobody wish for her to
It's also okay. It's also okay. Let's go on a break. When we come back, we go through the front pages of the papers. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're going to start with the nation. Buhari to military, don't spare bandits or terrorists. Why manufacturers should cut cement prices by Emefiele. Picture here of Sanwo-Olu. Tinubu has qualities to succeed Buhari. Father gets life jail for pregnating daughter. Fashola, we have achieved more than the U.S. in infrastructure. Adeyeye, Bamidele, 5 others boycott Ekiti APC primaries. VAT controversy affected remittances, says FIRS. And don't abandon power shift to South, Ohaneze cautions. Okay, which story are we starting with? Go ahead, Mariam.
The Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS, said yesterday that due to the controversy that trailed the court ruling on who collects VAT, it affected their overall tax collection last year. It says even though the VAT yielded over 2 trillion naira to the federal account in 2021, as against over 1.53 trillion in 2020, it had expected a higher total tax yield, if not for the VAT disputes. And he said this negatively affected the full implementation of his reforms, efficiency and achievement, because this created dilemmas to payers, like where exactly were they supposed to remit. But it still looked like it was good, but not as much as they had anticipated, they had projected.
So I want to quickly take the human interest before I take Fashola. This unfortunate father, 42-year-old father of a young 15-year-old girl whose name was not disclosed, has been sentenced to life, maximum sentence for under the Child Rights Act, for defiling his daughter and impregnating her. And he stuttered through his defense, tried to, all the emotional defense of her father never meant this and all of that. But the magistrate saw beyond that. And, in Lagos here, they're strict. They have a special court, the Domestic and Sexual Violence Court, where the matter was heard and immediately sentenced to life. According to the magistrate, this is inhuman. It's absurd. It's against natural law to abuse his daughter. They said he had started it a long time ago. He was 39 at the time he was arrested, and he could not find the defense. I'm just so grateful that, and the magistrate also said his name should be immediately put in the sexual offenders register immediately, that, we have such records, and I'm hoping that the deterrence that this would yield is what, he serves to others who have the same intention. Also, the Minister for Works and Housing, addressed the APC's conversation series, and he said that the federal government under President Muhammadu Buhari has achieved so much, and he did a comparison between us and the United States, saying that in terms of infrastructure, the Buhari's administration has achieved what even U.S. government is trying to do in terms of infrastructure. He said as of December 2021, 941 kilometers of roads across all states and geopolitical zones have been completed, and that, that is the change that they promised, and they are doing it. He talked about the major roads, the Lagos-Ibadan roads, the second Niger bridge.
He didn't say more, so that's what all the papers are saying. He said more. He just said they've not achieved what we've achieved.
In terms of
the word more is the interpretation. The interpretation and every other social media is taking up and down.
There's still a comparison.
But when sensationalization, of course.
Okay, so the final story in the paper. So Governor Sanwo-Olu has finally inaugurated the Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu movement as a working group towards the actualization of his presidential ambition. So he was saying yesterday that to succeed Buhari, they need a detribalized Nigerian. He must be a thoroughbred Democrat who respects the ideals of true federalism. He must also be a true progressive in word and action. Above all, he must be a tested and trusted manager of men and resources. And his leadership for this country is not in doubt. And he also said that he was inaugurating 1,300 men who were taken from the 57 various local governments. And he was saying that they should take it to the streets, to the villages, to the towns, to the regions, to the cities, that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the right man for the job.
The wisest.
The wisest also, the wisest. Okay, so officially campaign has started. Really?
Yes,
Yeah, so everybody starts drum me a drum right
in
now.
2022.
Okay, The Punch. House Security report forced Buhari to cancel planned subsidy removal. APC aspirants allege fraud. Fayemi's ex-SSG wins the Ekiti governorship primary. Ogun pastor arrested for camping, feuding housewife. Daughter's husband alleges sex romp. Randy man, 37, bags life imprisonment for raping 13-year-old girl. Court remands NURTW leader Kunle Poli orders Lagos Hammer over the Lagos mayhem. Abdul Razak solicits Assembly's nod to remove auditor alleges misconduct. NNPC to deduct 127 billion naira from FAC, plans $5 billion Afrexim Bank loan. and PSC workers embark on 3-day strike over constables' recruitment. All right. Which story
I have two human interest stories.
Go ahead,
quickly. So, men of the Ogun State Police Command have arrested the pastor in charge of Spirit-Filled International Christian Church, Olumore Abiyokuta, Timothy Oluwatimilehin, for allegedly luring a housewife and her 2 daughters away from the family. So this pastor allegedly took them away from their family and kept them in his house and was sleeping with the wife and 2 daughters. They didn't tell us how long this happened, but then the husband had to go to the police with somebody else and made a report. And they had picked up the man. He confessed in the police, saying that he actually lured them. He took advantage of the quarrel the wife had with the husband and then kept them in the house, and he's sleeping with them. So he's asking for forgiveness. But the PPRO said of the State Commissioner of Police, Lanre Bankole, said that they've directed the Anti-Human Trafficking and Child Labor Unit of the State Criminal Investigation to handle this, and likely they will have to take him to court. Now, the second human interest story is a man, a 37-year-old man, Samuel Adebamigbe, who has been sentenced to life imprisonment for raping a 13-year-old girl. He was tried and found guilty on the charge of rape. So according to the girl's story, she was selling bread. The mother asked her to take the bread to this man's house. By the time he got there, the man said, okay, that he needed to eat the bread with pepper soup. So wait for me, let me go and get the pepper soup. By the time he came back, he locked the door and raped the girl. Then gave the girl 1,500 naira not to say anything. But when she got home, she reported the matter to the mother, and then they had to go through the courts and everything. I'm happy that he's been sentenced to life imprisonment. Yes. I don't think it's enough. Anything can happen and he's released tomorrow.
Yes, every day, jailbreaks here.
Yeah.
Yes, Miriam, the major headline.
Yes, I've got a major headline. So the Punch is saying an impeccable security source told them that, the president was willing to implement the Petroleum Industrial Act, but he gets security reports, of course, from, the DSS, the police, the National Intelligence Agency. And the feedback was, in removing the subsidy, it would cause a lot of, it would cause protests, and protests that will be even worse than end SARS. Yeah. They also said that he got reports that, taking the subsidy, removing the subsidy now will raise cost of goods and services, and it will make a lot of people come out to protest. So looking at that, he decided against it, but he was willing. He said he was even advised by some ministers to go ahead with this subsidy removal because it would have brought some investment from deregulation, of that sector. And on the other hand, World Bank is saying that his refusal to remove the subsidy may affect our chances of a $1.5 billion that we're looking for some things, because one of the requirements and suggestions or advice they had given the countries to remove that subsidy for them to get that money. So that may affect our chances of getting that loan.
With the refinery.
Okay, I think let's see.
I want to say Police Service Commission.
Oh, okay. We come back, we continue with the review and Punch. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So we're still with Punch, and we're going to take the story.
I wanted to take the police service workers back on 3-day strike. So according to the chairman, Joint Union Congress, the police service chapter, Adoyi, he said that the workers had a meeting with the permanent secretary to the police service, and he offered no solution to their agitations, and so they have embarked on a 3-day warning strike. And the details of it in the Punch is so daring. The workers had a meeting with the secretary overnight on Wednesday. By Thursday morning, they locked him out of the office, took over the entire place. They said they are protesting the alleged takeover of the ongoing constables, 10,000 constables recruitment, lack of staff members, promotion and training by the commission's management, and that the secretary was saying that they should take a BTA arrangement with their basic travel allowance approved for field monitoring. And they are insisting that's not, they want what they want to be paid for what they have worked for. And so that's not young pepper scatter there, but I'm hoping that something will be done.
So Magistrate Linda Balogun of the Lagos State Magistrates Court, Yaba, had remanded Abdulaziz Lawal, a.k.a. Kunle Poli, over the clash in Lagos, remember, in Idumota by the NURTW. He was remanded alongside 2 other sprints, Idowu Johnson and Agbola Koshoko, in the police zonal monitoring unit for the next 30 days while police is investigating. So he's going to be remanded while the investigation is ongoing, and that's pretty much the case. All right, let's move on quickly to Daily Sun. Buhari gives fresh marching orders. I said if I can count how many times I've read this headline in the last 3 years.
Every week. You can't remember the count.
Every week. Buhari gives marching order. Buhari gives fresh marching order. Next week we'll say it evening. Anyways, he has given fresh marching orders. Yes. Security in near collapse. Clark tells president. Osun 2022. PDP clears 6 aspirants, fixes primary for March 7th. Police debunk chopper crash in Bauchi. UAE lifts travel ban on Nigeria and 11 other countries. 2 dead, 22 houses razed in Delta gas explosion. And Ekiti-Guba confusion protests rock APC PDP primaries. Okay, which story?
Yeah, so I took the Nigerian Police High Command. They have denied that one of their helicopters flying from Abuja to Bauchi on Wednesday crash-landed. They said that the aircraft did not crash, as being reported in some sections of the media, and none of the occupants sustained any injury whatsoever. All 6 on board, including the pilot and co-pilot, are in good condition. He says that the aircraft, which was flown by one of the best police pilots, was professionally safe-landed with minor damage on the rear rotor as a result of the obstacle at the landing spot. So, and then the IGP also commended the police for their professionalism.
Okay, so the United Arab Emirates has said that the restriction on the flights arriving from Nigeria and 11 other African nations will be lifted on Saturday, January 29. That's tomorrow. They had to create this ban as part of the measures to curb the COVID-19 that was happening all around the world. So they said flight arrival could resume from countries like Botswana, Congo, Republic of Eswatini, Ethiopia, Kenya, Lesotho, Mozambique, Namibia, South Africa, Tanzania, and Zimbabwe. Now, the excluded categories would have to present a COVID-19 test obtained within 48 hours departure and a rapid PCR test at the airport within 6 hours departure whenever possible, and another PCR test at the airport upon arrival to the UAE. That's for countries that have not been listed amongst the 11 that they've opened for. So people want to travel, they can now travel.
So a non-governmental foundation, say Messengers of Peace Foundation, have awarded Governor of Enugu State, Governor Nwanyi, as the most peaceful governor. Just that they've taken note of his efforts. Well, he said they are recognizing his zeal, steadfastness, and untiring effort in ensuring there is calmness in the state and Nigeria by extension.
Okay, well done.
Peace is important. Okay, moving on now to Vanguard. Governors, NLC, Nasima, others rail against 3 trillion naira subsidy bill. Police helicopter crashes in Bauchi. NNPC secures $5 billion Afrexim Bank deal for upstream sector. UAE to lift entry ban to travelers from Nigeria tomorrow. Buhari commissions BUA cement Sectorial line 4 factories. Hush puppy, PSC rejects returns reports on Abaga to force HQ, that's headquarters. Afenife Ohanizi MPN kick as Reps Committee rejects state police. And Ekiti APC 7 aspirants protest, demand cancellation of governorship primaries. Nobody took the primaries in Ekiti State.
I took the major headline.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so the Nigerian Governors Forum, NGF, Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC, Nigeria Association of Chambers of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture, NASIMA, People's Democratic Party, PDP, and stakeholders in the oil and gas sector yesterday are upset about the 3 trillion proposal of the federal government to cover for the 18-month period that the fuel subsidy will still remain. So, as a result of the FEC meeting that they had said that they will be spending about 3 trillion for this period for subsidy. So the governors are going to go into collaboration with Labour to set up a committee to investigate this amount of money. And one of the things they said they will be doing is to look at the volume of fuel that is refined and the total number of liters imported for local consumption. And they are also going to you know, according to them, they said they are not going to be able to stop the president from this amount of money, but they can set up this committee to really investigate so that we know what we are spending this money on. And this is not the time to spend such an amount of money. That's going to be taking about 17% of the total 2022 budget. We can't afford to spend this on subsidy.
Hush puppy, somebody?
Okay, I took Hush puppy. The Commissioner in charge of media and publicity in the Police Service Commission, Mr. Esteem, says that the Police Service Commission may have picked holes in the investigation on Abaga submitted by the DIG Joseph Ebunike-led investigation panel, and so they've returned it to the IGP. And that this may also be based on advice from the AG's office that, you know, it should be done again, and that, you know, they would take action on it. He will refer to past disciplinary actions taken on other police officers. And we know what exactly led to this. So I'm just wondering why it is rocket science, why we need to set up a panel, and reach a report on an investigation.
Moving on to the Nigerian Tribune, reps begin probe of actual daily consumption of PMS. Idumota violence, court remands Kunle Poli to that story. 14 abducted Kebbi students not yet released. APC Northwest legislators pledge support for Yahaya Bello. Robbers attack bullion van in Delta State. Afenifere knocks reps over rejection of state police. Amidst boycott by 7 aspirants, Oyebanji wins Ekiti APC primary. Our economic policies working. And Clark to Buhari. We, not you, brought peace to Niger Delta.
Okay, so I have this story. Armed robbers on Thursday attacked a bullion van in Delta State. It was on the Otto Owe, I hope I pronounced it right, BC, on the Uge-Asaba dual carriageway. They said that the witness said the robbers rained bullets all over the van with bullet holes, even on the windscreen of the vehicle. And they said it also happened that the bullion van was empty. And so the police said that they were in a gun duel with, you know, their men. So the hoodlums escaped, or the bandits or the armed robbers escaped with injuries. I hope that they get them.
Yes, so I have the House of Reps. Yesterday, they have resolved to set up an ad hoc committee that will ascertain the actual daily consumption of premium motor spirits following the fuel scarcity that we are having and about to have. So this resolution was adopted by Honorable Abubakar Hassan Fulata. He's expressing concern over the amount of money that has been used so far in purchasing fuel and subsidy. And they remember that on the 25th of March, 2021, the House also resolved to investigate about 25 billion on turnaround maintenance of the refineries over the past 25 years, as well as additional sum of 1.5 billion, which is about 575 billion, allegedly for rehabilitation work on the 32-year-old Port Harcourt refinery. So they also said that NNPC at the time gave an audit report the previous year, which revealed that 3 of the nation's 4 refineries recorded 1.64 trillion cumulative loss in their 2014 to 2018 details, despite the fact that they did not process crude at the time. So they were running costs, we're paying over 10.23 billion in expenses when these refineries were not giving us anything. So they've said they set up a committee. This committee is going to, there's one of the committees that would give them a report at the end of 8 weeks. Another one will give another report at the end of 6 weeks. So that we'll see where all of these monies have been and what exactly Nigerians are using for PMS.
Okay, let's go to The Guardian. Discos face imminent collapse, wallow in debt. AIB begins probe of police helicopter crash in Bauchi. Council boss uncovers illegal mortuary where corpses of kidnapped victims are deposited in rivers. Okay, who has the major headline?
So, according to the Guardian's report, the fears have, started within the stakeholders and investors in this discourse, especially the 11 discos. They said that no disco has declared dividends in 8 years after privatization. Buying electricity assets with loans and misplaced priorities, according to experts, bank are taking over. Just last week, the Ibadan Disco's asset was taken over by Amcon. Another disco, according to reports, was taken over by one of these banks. and now we're having discos and the investments collapsing. I'm hoping that the banks would then be able to look for the right pegs and put in the right holes now. Because we know the stories around the discos takeover of PHCN was that it was a lot of paddy arrangements. And so people who were not qualified, who couldn't manage the electricity sector were, given. You now have Gencos suffering, generating powers that could not be distributed. All we expected was that people who know how to distribute will be the ones to take. But we have a major problem in the sense that discos return unused power and Gencos then suffer. Government then has to pay the subsidy. That has been the problem over and over. So now where they are now, you have discos suffering, people losing, investments within this sector. But I'm hoping that since the banks are now taking over, those who gave loans, they would then do the proper investment and sale of these things so that we have people who can handle the business, take it over.
Somebody has already paid for us. What happens to their own investment?
Yeah, they did not manage it well. If you start business, it's not it well, you lose money.
Oh, wow. Let's go on a break. When we come back from our hot topic of the day, stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So it's Celebrity Friday, and we always try to monitor what our celebrities are saying. So one of our celebrities, MI, said that, please, people should carry their shoulders up because his decade-long experiment with humility doesn't work. Like, especially in Nigeria, being humble is not the right approach in Nigeria. That in Nigeria, carry your shoulders up. Let them know. If not, you'll not get anywhere. What are your thoughts? Do you agree with this? Because some of us have actually experienced this. You can call us on the numbers 08127053687. You can also call us on 091397694. You can send us messages on YouTube and Facebook and also Twitter. #YourViewTVC. We'd like to hear from you. So, the reason why, one of the reasons why this was interesting for me, because I'm one of those very humble, people like, yeah, Mariah is so humble. Mariah is so humble. And I appreciate that. But sometimes you just feel like this humble. Sometimes it doesn't really get you, or it doesn't open certain doors. Because yes, you're humble, but sometimes in Nigeria, you have to grab it, you have to take things, you have to demand things, because people won't just give it to you. So if we play the humble card all the time, does it really work in the long term?
So the problem is playing a card. If you're naturally humble, you can be nothing else. You won't, even if you try. Even you, I know sometimes you want to, but it's not you because it comes naturally. So it's playing the card. That's why I have a problem. So some people put up a front because of what they want to achieve or because of how they want people to perceive them. So you pretend to be humble. And then when people don't perceive you in that way that you wanted them to perceive you, you get upset. And then you resort to, let me show who I really am. The truth is, you are not a humble person. If you're a humble person, you would not know how to be any other thing aside from being humble. Then there's also something I noticed in my own experiment. We are all doing experiments today now. Some people seem to be humble because they have imposter syndrome. So what is imposter syndrome? You do not really believe in yourself. So when people bring the accolades and everything, no, it's not me. It's a problem of a low self-esteem. It's not because you're humble, but because deep down you feel like you're not good enough. All these things people are saying, me, I'm not seeing it. Me, that I'm doing the thing, I'm not seeing it. I'm just trying. And you're focused on other people who are doing things and you feel that they are better than you. You haven't really understood yourself that whatever I am doing it by myself. It's the grace of God that I'm doing it. And so when the accolades come, let me say, at least say thank you. It's not about blowing your trumpet, but say thank you. So a lot of people suffer from that imposter syndrome, and we see it as humility. But let me tell you what true humility looks like.
I'll come to that. Let me just hear your initial thoughts on this issue. You think this humility, especially in Nigeria, does it work for you? Because we see where, somebody like a Mark Zuckerberg, for example, let's just say Mark Zuckerberg is a regular Nigerian. He's rich, wealthy, doesn't care, he wears jeans, T-shirts, goes around. there's a likelihood that he'll go out there and they'll talk to him anyhow because, hey, he's wearing a T-shirt. But if he wears his babariga and you know, has his nice briefcase, one PA carrying bag, and enters with this big car, the kind of respect they'll give to me is different from the other rich guy who's equally rich or even richer, but in jeans and T-shirt. So this guy is saying, don't humble wear your jeans and T-shirt. It doesn't work. Better go and wear babariga and look like a chief. If not, you'll not get the adequate, not respect, but even the regard that you indeed deserve. Mariam, what do you think? Okay,
so to directly to what MI says about, you know, humility doesn't work. You need to raise your shoulders. It reminds me of the Bible verse that says, do not cast your pearls before swine. Because I have seen situations where people are humble, they're kind, they're generous, and they're taken advantage of and taken for granted. And I get what he's saying because I've found myself in situations like that, where people would say, the reason for you to be humble and kind is because you don't have. It's because there's nothing to you. That's why you can only be humble and kind. If you had, you would show it. People just assume that people that have must show it and must put it in your face. They don't understand that if some people could have, but they would not choose to show it that way. They still prefer to treat you as a normal person. But I think there's just a new wave of just selfishness in this world, you know, and materialism. We just don't, what used to be virtues are not virtues anymore. What you should be admired is not admired anymore. So you find people who are truly like that, and when they say, see, this does not work, it's not necessarily because they have low self-esteem or anything. It's because they are constantly seeing the negative impact of being who they are. And some people have worn a mask. They've worn an armor. Not because it's not truly who they are, but they realize I need to survive. Yeah. And if I have to survive, this is what I need to do. And so I guess that's what Abaga is saying.
Let me come to you, Nima. What are your thoughts on this issue?
So reading this is, I think Emma should not miss the word humility and timidity. There's a line where a person is just, because of their self-confidence, a lot of people for other things, they're apologetic about their person. For some people, humility is their person. But people would misunderstand it. Maybe because in their demeanor, they wear the babariga. They are big, they are everything, or they're very confident in themselves. So when they reach out to you, you think it's a means to an end, but that's their real person. So they then have to take time to prove it. And the line of abuse, like Miriam said, is there. Even I have suffered it, and I had to take a stand against certain people that think I must be deliberate about a new self towards these people. But there will be that clash. When I reached that decision to be a different person, it wasn't a comfortable place for me because my nature is I'm accessible, I'm approachable, I'm easygoing. Yeah. And so whenever I see that person, I'd rather just forget their existence because they're making me change my personality to relate with them. So to put it out there and say, being pompous is a negative. Not being humble is a negative. It's something that if you don't have it, you should be working at getting. Those are not the kind of virtues that you promote. But having your head straight is talking about confidence, not talking about pride or pomposity in the face of, you know, there's a way the language must be put so that we don't discourage children. When I was in primary school, a lady of Lord's primary school, we're always told to walk with our heads high, all girls. There was a level of confidence they were training us to have. But that didn't mean that when you are in front of your helper, kill you. That pride not go and kill in front of your helper. You're there, you're doing shoulder, you're doing... And, you know, people do this. They forget the kindness they've received. Right. You get to that point, if you don't draw the line and you're grounded in what virtues you're trying to live by, you'd offend the human and offend the creator.
Okay, let me go on a quick break. When we come back to continue this conversation, stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still discussing this issue of humility. And I think before the break, Nima tried to help us draw the line between timidity and humility and also confidence and pride. But I remember there was a time where I was in a church where the pastor's wife was very smallish. You know, you see her, she looks like a 14-year-old. So I remember that she came to sit down with me, right, at the back. Then I was an usher. So she sat with me at the back end, you know. And my girlfriend was coming. She was the first time that I invited my girlfriend. So she wanted to sit down next to me. She just saw this girl, Auntie, please, can I go to the children's church? And I was like, I was trying to make her get the pastor's wife. I said, don't argue with the girl. Please.
With the lady?
With the lady, please. Move. Could you move? I want to sit down. No, I want to sit down next to my friend. She invited me. I want, you know, arguing. I said, that's the pastor's wife. Which pastor's wife? Oh, now, please stand up. You know, she was very, very comfortable. My pastor's wife stood up and let her sit down.
That's
and just left. But eventually, she now realized that, that's the pastor's wife. The point is that in some churches, the pastor's wife will carry shoulder. Listen, I am the pastor. I am the mommy Jew. This is our church. But this woman was never like that.
That's confidence.
She moves into the ushering department. It goes in seamlessly. Yeah. So what Emma is saying, if the mommy Jew in that church wants to be given some respect and regard as that is her position, she should carry her shoulder. Don't.
That's dragging.
Exactly. That's what she said.
What she did was earn the respect.
Yes.
What he is suggesting is she should fight and drag the respect.
That means you've lost it.
So it's not every time you keep quiet over such a disrespect that it means that you've been abused. You know your place, and you don't have to shout too much to prove it.
You just say you're on the altar. Yeah, but I wanted to, first of all, understand the meaning of humility. Because I'm beginning to realize that, especially in Nigeria, sometimes some of these words that we throw around, we really do not understand what it means. It's an English word, humility, but we could use it in different contexts. So it says the quality or state of not thinking you're better than other people. That's as simple as it is. You can have somebody who is the loudest in the room, but she doesn't think she's better than any other person. She knows when to keep quiet, she knows when to listen, she knows when to argue, she knows when to step down, she knows when to give respect. And you could have the most quiet person in that room that everybody thinks, oh, she's so humble. But yet, in her mind, she looks down on people. Absolutely. Maybe the quietness is even because she feels I can't even, these people are below my level, yes. But we don't see that as humility or not. What we see is people who show confidence as pride. They are proud. For you to say that I can do this, why would you be the one to say you can do it? Allow us to say it on your behalf. So when you are somebody who constantly says, I can do this, this is what I have done, this is what they tell you to be proud. Now, in the Nigerian context, pride is just somebody who seems to show off. Somebody who wants to dress too well. You want to be the best dressed in the room. You want to, show that you have gotten this qualification and everything, and then people see you as arrogant. But that person who is like that may just be her personality, that she's full of life. There are people who are naturally full of life.
Let me pause you for a second. Okay. Let me pause because I want to stand clear on that. That person now, they'll tell you, if you don't celebrate yourself, nobody will celebrate you. So if you enter a room, you let them know that you have a master's degree, you're a doctor, corrected that you have Dr. Lagbaja. You let them know you have a PhD because that's who you are. So you people, you coaches will say, listen, if you don't celebrate yourself, nobody will celebrate you. How therefore do you draw the line between celebrating yourself and speaking yourself to yourself and being pride?
Okay, so if you celebrate yourself and you feel because you have a doctorate now, every other person in that room is less than you, that's where you're proud. But the truth is we don't see that feeling. It's a feeling, it's a thought in your heart. We don't see it, except maybe when you now start talking about it and boasting about it. We can't really tell if you're proud or not. You may just simply celebrate yourself. Oh, this is what I am, this is who I am, because you're looking for a job, you're looking for a contract, and people need to know what you have.
So
hold on. You can, celebrate that, and then you don't feel anybody is less than you. But people don't see that because you have mentioned yourself. But somebody else who's sitting down there may not want to mention herself. She just sits down pretty. And another person who knows her will now be the one to give the accolade. Oh, this person is this and that and that. And people just, as you see the way she just came, she just sat down. She didn't say anything about it. Meanwhile, at the time she was sitting down, she was looking like, who are these people? Why am I here? Oh, God. But we don't know
quietness and doesn't mean
it doesn't mean you're
Let me say this. So because you said in the Nigerian context, pride is not necessarily a negative thing. And even in Nigerian context, there's a difference. Arrogance is certainly the negative thing. So when you walk into a place and say, I'm a madam, you don't have to. When you say, I'm a master's degree holder, probably you're pushing your qualification forward. You're proud of your achievements and you're pushing them forward. That's a different thing. The negative thing is that because I am madam, did you see how I arrived? Did you see my retinue of attendants and all of that? You cannot be putting me here. That's arrogance. There's a line. Auntie, please, ma, you did not clean the chair. Do you know me? Do you know am I? Do you know I am? Do you know all of that? That's arrogance. No. When you're proud, I'm a proud mother of 2 children. I know what I went through to get them. If you ask me any qualification, I don't even remember I went to school. I always tell you, I'm a mother. Do you understand? I'm proud of that. It's something I feel, after I successfully achieved. So I can, talk about that all the time to the extent that someone around me will think pride. And there's a saying of the Prophet ﷺ, you don't talk about the beauty of food in front of an hungry person. You don't talk about children in front of a childless person. You don't push the things that you're so proud of without sensitivity in front of the faces of the people who look into God for them. You are enjoying grace. You are not special.
Let me use that.
If you put it like that, then humility would not be such a negative thing to you. You're just sensitive. And it's okay. No matter where you are, to be sensitive to people around you, it is.
That's a trait of humility.
It's humility.
Okay, so let me create another scenario. A humble woman, is working in a career in an office, and because of her humility, she has gotten her master's degree and all the qualifications, but she stays where she wants. She doesn't mind go and start soliciting or lobbying for anything more than what you've given to her. And she loves her job, but her colleague, who is just as humble as her, but is a bit more assertive. So she is going to the HR department, find out, okay, what can I do? Is going out and she gets in, she's demanding the promotion. She's insisting that I can do this job, I deserve it. And she's getting moving ahead because she's a bit more assertive. Yeah. So what this Emma is saying is that you are playing humility. You don't want them to come and say, hey, what is your problem now? Can't you wait your turn? You are going to be in Nigeria, you die there.
So this person is not
what you need to do is to rise from where you are, hold your shoulder, let them know that you have master's degree, you have the qualification, so that the HR person will say, this person too is qualified.
So there's what you have just explained to me is you have just described assertiveness as the opposite of lack of confidence. You have not explained humility. Humility does not mean that you're not confident or that you do not know when to speak up, do not know when to show forth your qualifications. You go for an interview and they'll ask you what your qualifications are, and you would name them. You will be spoken to, you speak intelligently and smartly. That does not mean that you're proud. Pride is not a feeling, humility is not a feeling, it's a doing word. That is how someone can say you are proud or you're humble because you act it. Feelings are feelings, thoughts are thoughts. Who knows whose thoughts, you know? So when I have a very clear example. Just the other day, I had a really horrible accident. Would have taken my life. And the person who was the cause of that accident was on the floor begging. Everyone came out like, how could you do that, And in the end, his own car was really destroyed. Out of kindness and humility, I put that man in my car and I drove him to his office. I could have just stood there, called the police and everything. But I looked at him. He really didn't have much and everything. I said, okay, let's go to the office. We got to the office, and he was at the back. He was really huffing and puffing. I said, see, let's just thank God we're all alive, because that's what I was looking at, the bigger picture. I wasn't looking, you must fix my car. It wasn't even that was not the top of my mind. Then we got to the office. And then he went and he called his boss. And this person came with his shoulder high because he's confident.
Abi?
He's a confident person. Look. Didn't say a word to me. Looked at my driver, said, he didn't even say anything. He was just parading. So I said, please, who are you? Who am I? I am me. I said, no, I'm asking, are you the HR? Are you the manager? Because I'm sitting down here and I haven't heard anything. You're just looking up and, walking up and down. I am the face. I am the voice of this company. Wow. I said, wow. I said, I have just come out of something that would have been life-ending. And this is the
face.
This is the sort of reaction I get from you. Well, you could tell that he was offended at how dare I ask who he was.
Are you supposed
and for
to
me,
know?
that is pride. That is arrogance. It has nothing to do with a feeling of confidence. It's not confidence at all. And I know that a lot of people mix it. I want to be confident, and I love confidence. I admire it. But sometimes in that confidence, we tend to deviate a bit and show pride and arrogance in our speech, in what we do. And humility, there's also that possibility of sometimes falling on the side of timidity. And people will see it as timidity, but there's a difference between timidity, there's a difference between humility, there's a difference between confidence, and there's a difference between pride. Right,
let me take this call from Taiwo. Good morning, Taiwo. Are you there? Hello, Taiwo. Hello, Taiwo. Are you there? So in the Nigerian context, BC, let's look at it in a different way. You're in an office. If you are, somebody who's sending me a message says that this raise your shoulder height thing can be noticed and can happen in offices too. If you don't blow your trumpet in an office, you are seen as doing nothing. Humility rarely works. You go to public offices and you are told to sit down and wait for your turn. So if you enter a public office, for example, and you have your PA carrying your handbag, your hair is nice, like BC's hair, you have the madam, and walking in, I'm here to see the MD. You're likely to at least enter the office. Maybe you not see the MD, but you enter the receptions, the office of the reception of the MD. But if you just come in with your jeans and T-shirt, saying, I'm trying to be humble, I'm just, I just stopping by, they will think,
I'm not trying, don't make it,
I'm not trying to be humble. I'm a humble person. I'm a humble person. I just came to see the MD, stopping by. You're not likely to get far. So I guess that's what Emma is trying to say, that in this climate, you have to show even in the office, you have to wear it and do something, even though your boss just cannot do anything.
Yes, because we're in a climate where people are moved by what they see and how they perceive you. It's as simple as that. Simple. If you go to other clients where that is not the reality, people look at you from the aspect of the value that you bring. You won't need to raise your shoulders to be attended to. You will take your time. When you get there, you present what you have. You can present what you have in your jeans and your shorts, and once they get the value, and you get the job. You don't need to wear babariga. Because we are moved by what we see. We are moved by how society has placed materialism. That's how we are moved. So if you don't raise head, you will not get anywhere in the contest. But I wanted to still go back to humility being thoughts. Because you can't have actions without thoughts. The thoughts that you have, the feelings, it starts from the feeling. You have a thought, you have a feeling, and then it translates into your action. So I can see your pride by the way you act and the way you treat other people. But it stemmed from the thoughts that you're better than that person. So you can't have an action without the thoughts. Now, how do we handle it in the Nigerian context? We need to start re-educating ourselves. That is not about how somebody looks or how somebody does gra-gra. It's about the value the person brings. And whatever value comes to your face, you must give the necessary respect. So there are some places you go to, you cannot shunt a line. Maybe you're in a queue in the bank or something. They say, madam, please, take your turn. And also, we need to, it's in a place of humility that we need to know that respect should be given to whom respect is due. There are people that have earned it.
Okay, let me come to that. That point you made is very important. Let me take this time. Taiwo, are you there? Hello, Taiwo. Hello, Taiwo, you're live.
Hi.
Hello, Taiwo, you're live. Go ahead, please. You're live, Taiwo. Go ahead, please.
I'm struggling to hear you. Good morning. My name is Taiwo. I'm calling from Gagada.
Yes, go ahead.
All right. Some time ago, I applied to a Nigerian university. I'd written the entrance exam, I'd passed, I'd done the interview. Everything was settled, but I was just waiting for resumption. And then for over 8 months, that was my master's anyway. For over 8 months, the admission did not come. And because I was tired of staying at home, I just needed to step out of my house. I applied for a job as a fuel attendant somewhere because I was just tired of the entire situation. Then when I got there, I discovered that every other applicant were ND students, like they just finished their ND and they just wanted a placement. I didn't fit into that environment. And all through my time there, I was always gloomy, I was always moody. Now, in that situation, I didn't see myself as proud, okay? It's just that I was not the right person for that situation, for that person. And for me, it didn't look like, although the other ladies and the other guys felt like, who is this girl? She's always keeping to herself. She's always this. But there was no discussion I could have with them. And it was going to makes me excited. So I feel like the word humility is relative. It's how we decide to use it. And this is what it is. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Taiwo. Let me go on a quick break. When we come back, we continue this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still discussing this issue of humility. I'm going to be taking a few calls right now. Do we have any messages on YouTube?
On Twitter.
Yes, go ahead, tweets.
Okay, Miss Chi says, being humble have killed me. Oh. Even my kids are upset at my disposition as they've seen people take advantage of my mien severally. My 14-year-old son has been telling me to keep beds and don't smile because people underrate me the way I am.
That means Fiona says, be humble, but not so mumu, because some people will just take advantage of you. Ogumola Emmanuel says, any interviewer who says an applicant is proud is simply intimidated either with the qualifications or personality of the candidate. If you are confident, nawala. If you're not confident, nawala, they will say you're timid.
Festus Akimboyewa says, to be humble is spiritual, which is counter to our culture. That's why many people are not humble in our country.
Okay, let me take Shegun from Macaulay. Good morning, Shegun. Are you there? I lost that call. Yeah. You know, for me personally, I always get this. I mean, I hate when people say, oh, they say close family members. I'm really so humble. Goodness, I hate that phrase. Right. Because I struggle. You know, I really wish I was given a bit more. You know, I was raised in a way to be more assertive in certain things. You know, I wish I was.
That's the problem.
Yeah, because
that's the problem because you're looking at being humble as being not timid. Assertive, as being timid.
Well, maybe that's the definition.
But I get it because we're Nigerians and we know that is what it means in our country.
Yeah, you know, so there's time when me and my husband when we are fighting, you know, and I'm like, oh my goodness, you know, when he's talking, you know how he's talking, I'm like, goodness, I wish I didn't have this personality. I don't even want to say. I can't even respond. I said, you deserve a response. But I don't know what to say.
Okay, let me make you laugh. My husband, when we first met, was like, oh, she's so, one of the ways he describes me is that she's so easy to love. She's so, and one of our first fights, when I gave him, he was like, after a few days, he was like, ha. You deceived me, oh. Because I'm not a doormat. Yes, I understand how I would, carry myself, but when I need to stand up for myself, I'll to myself, I will. You know, so people have that, she may not, because she's humble, she must be weak, she must be timid, she must be
and that, I spent
years with someone who did, once I say no to her, it's pride. Once you bring everything that, you know, no, let me do this, please. No, I just want everybody to be happy. And then one time I said, how can you ask for my head? This is asking for my head. So ask me to compromise my beliefs and it will not happen. I said, I've always known she's pretending. She's a proud person. I said, well, if you still talk about it like that, I'm actually a very proud person. I have my faith, my background, my family, and there are certain things I would never compromise. So if that's the end of it, let it be.
Because I always admire, I admire, even my sister-in-laws, I admire the way when we're talking, having a conversation, and they're just going all out, and you know, and you feel like, oh goodness, I wish I had this personality. I mean, I wish I had this. Even when I see BC,
feel like you're mixing it.
I'm not mixing. I'm telling you my own understanding. Yeah, it's interpreted.
So
it's like sometimes
call my name now.
No, because you have that. You have the assertiveness. A lot of people.
Does that mean I'm proud?
Doesn't mean you're proud. It means that you're assertive. So I'm not saying that I'm proud. I'm not saying that I'm timid. Okay. I'm saying that the assertiveness sometimes I see in others because they've given me this label of humble. You know, they give this woman, the woman, is so humble. So you wear on this role so much that, we wear on this role so much that you don't even want to do anything. You don't keep going.
Okay, so I'm just trying to explain to you. You're still making it out that a humble person is not assertive. Do you understand?
Yeah.
That is different. So you want to be assertive. That's one of the qualities I admire about BC. She finds herself anywhere she would speak her mind and speak it confidently. But that does not necessarily mean that someone else who does that and may not be as outspoken as her is timid or that person is not humble. So humility is different. Humility is different. Not having that personality where you speak up and say your mind whenever is not humility. That's what I'm trying to explain to you.
Okay, thank you for explaining that. So, in the face of let me take Balikis and I come to you. Good morning, Balikis. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Hello, good morning.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Okay, hi, ladies. This is the first time I'm calling.
Welcome to the show.
This is the first time. Okay. So.
Okay. Go ahead. Are you listening to the TV or listening to me? Please listen to me, not the TV. TV is delayed.
Your phone.
Okay. About what I'm calling because of this topic about pride and all. Well, in Nigeria, most times when you are confident, people tend to think you are proud. And especially coming from a lady, when you are very assertive and confident, people see it as, who does she think she is, and why is she sounding the way she's sounding to get into proud? And you're like, no, I'm not proud. I'm just confident, and I know who I am and what I.
Oh, we lost that. Yes, so let me jump on what she's just saying. Somebody also made that post here in relation to that. So the problem, you see me and admire me, but the problem I get most of the time is that from afar, people judge me to be proud. People hear the sound of my voice and she feels she knows it all. That is just how I explain things. Even when I would have started by saying nobody knows it all, they will remove that one and pick on what I have said as if I'm making it law. So I get that a lot. But the saving grace, and unfortunately, not everybody will have an opportunity to come close to me. The saving grace that I have is that when some people now have that opportunity to come close to me, they're like, you are so different from how you appear. I've gotten that from university days. Like, whoa, you are so easy to deal with. You're just a person. You're a person's person. And I get that. But how do I go about explaining to other people that when you hear my voice as strong as it is, it's not me being proud. I never feel I'm better than one person on this earth. I've never seen that person I feel I'm better than. But it's just me. That's my nature of, you know, talking and expressing myself. I was raised by a man who was very confident and assertive, and I think I took that part of him. But that doesn't mean I'm proud. But another thing I noticed about this pride and humility issue is that most people on the ground are the ones who are quick to say people who have attained success are proud. Because they do not understand that when you work for something, you should be respected. So you go for an event, and somebody who has been a veteran for 20, 30 years is being celebrated, and you're getting upset that they attended to that person first before you. If you're humble, you will understand that this person has earned it. You will respect that person. You will support that person because your time is coming. When you get to that age and you have gone through, you've gotten your track record, everything, people will give you the honor, and you must appreciate other people when they are being honored. But because we feel everybody should be treated equally, there's no equality even in heaven. There are processes, there are procedures, there are orders. We must follow that even in human form. You wait for your time. Humility makes you wait for your time. Humility makes you understand that your opinion is different from mine, but it's all about love, girl. I may not agree, but I wouldn't attack you for what you have said that is different from what I've said. It's humility. But we mix it up. We just feel those people who are successful should come and dobale. Let them attend to you first. Wait for your time.
Okay, somebody here says, similar to, I'll come to you in a minute, but somebody saying that my own contribution is that at times some people appear humble, whereas in the real sense of it, they are subservient. Subservience could have been driven by their belief of financial status. The fact that someone even greets you by prostrating or genuflecting does not necessarily mean they are humble. So those are different ways to define humility.
And then culturally, I grew up in part of Nigeria where humility is a virtue. And Nima has said it many times. There are some, you know, from the north, Hausa people, the way they carry themselves, they'll come to your house, they'll sit on the floor, and then you'll be shocked how much money that they have. They never wear their money, they never carry their money, they never speak it, you know, like, this is who I am, this is what I have, and this is what I can do for you. You would never know about their money because they know how to separate what they have materially from who they are personally. And I think also the religion, Islam, also requires for people to be humble. The Hausa people naturally just raise themselves to be that way. I remember in school in Zaria, a lot of people say, the only way you know a rich Hausa person is if you look at his slippers or his wristwatch. Because they will dress just like anyone else. And it's fine, you know. It does not mean that they don't speak up. Or, in fact, some people will tell you Hausa girls, if you meet a Hausa girl in the wrong corner, she will give it to you, you know. But before you push her to that point, she will be humble with you. She will speak respectfully to you. Just don't push them.
It's
all right, let me go
mean that you're not assertive if you're quiet at certain circumstances or situations that happen. That you're willing to always join issues and cha-cha-cha-cha on every issue does not mean you're assertive. Assertion means that I would not take some things and I'd rather stand by and move away from those things.
Let me go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll wrap up on this. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Joining the conversation now is a renowned actor, movie actor, very internationally acclaimed, our very own Sheun Akindele in the building.
Thank
Good
you.
to have you on the show to join the conversation.
Indeed. I'm
So
glad
before we
to be
even
here.
get into your career and all that, we'd like to hear your thoughts on this talk we're saying about humility. So we're saying that, I think it was MI that recently made a post, that listen, in this Nigeria, you have to carry your shoulder up because all this humble, he's been experimenting for the past 10 years. It hasn't taken him anywhere. Where you're just being humble, you know, willing to take the back seat, let others go ahead. He's saying in Nigeria, is the survival of the fittest. You must carry your shoulder high to get things done here. Do you agree or do you disagree with him?
Well, first and foremost, thank you for having me here. It's so amazing to be in the midst of you wonderful ladies.
Thank you.
Well, it's an interesting question, but another school of thought will say that the humility would take you places, however long it takes. So you're being humble for a long time and then you feel you've gotten nothing out of it. It could be the moment you decided to become all shoulders up and all proud, and then you miss the opportunity that was actually meant for you through your humility. You know, so it's not a bad thing to be humble. Whether the society sees it as a weakness, you know, or whether they see it as a way to make people feel I shouldn't be that way. I shouldn't be looked down on.
The ladies haven't been able to answer my question concerning when I said a very wealthy man, for example, wearing jeans and T-shirt into a place and is not being regarded, just like you said, this is somebody has paid his dues, has built industries, a Dangote just walks in a T-shirt, nobody really knows him somewhere, and nobody gives him regard. He just comes in and he's treated shabbily, left to wait. And another person who is not as rich as Dangote walks in with his babariga, with his briefcase, as a PA coming in, and like, hey, come here, please, where's your guy? I'm here to see everything. And the receptionist scrambling to get him upstairs to see the chairman. In that situation, is that the ideal situation in Nigeria? Because it's a Nigerian, this is a Nigerian context. Should Dangote in this situation therefore understand if you're in Nigeria and you want to see the MD, you better wear a babariga? That's the real crux of this conversation.
Dangote is so big, right? That maybe that
people know him.
Yes, maybe that example.
Just using him as an example.
I know. So I just want to say maybe someone that's not so well known does that. Yes, so people have tried to adjust. Yes, so I think what people try to do is adjust. So that's when they would come and dress a certain way, drive maybe their fanciest car in their house because they understand the culture. And they also, this sort of people also know that there are some cultures that look down at people that want to show themselves. So when they find themselves in another place, they put it down. Yes, you just adjust to survive.
What is it about accessing maybe favors or jobs, or why is it about that? Because I saw an interview of a man, an Igbo man. is a key player in an industry. I've been trying to remember the name. And he's done so much in giving. And he still wears his native attire, sits humbly, speaks well enough to be understood, doesn't have to roll an accent like some people like FFK. And, you know,
he's saying that. He just said that.
You know, I don't know, try to
please, with all due respect, he went to Eton College. He went to Eton College.
So you have to loud it. You have to make a lot of
No, you speak the way you speak.
This is what
the guy is of good,
this is what I
but
consider.
he's got to give. Goes back to what you said.
Yeah.
Got to give honor to whom honor is due. He didn't go to
okay, I even wanted to take this up on that. So you've achieved a PhD. You've gone to, what do you call the place? I don't know. I'm just saying. But you've not achieved anything with that knowledge. You've not changed anything. You've not invented anything. But you just come in. No. You just come into a place and say, just because I attended school.
No,
you know, people do it within families and say, among all my father's children, I'm the only educated one. When I'm talking, everybody should be quiet.
No, but they should listen.
No, but the education that they gave only you was so that you would represent that family or change the situation of that family, which you have been unable to.
That's why they should listen to you.
Wait, calm down.
Who you are trying to change.
They have a PhD, does not mean the wisest person in the
It must make impact.
Indeed.
If it doesn't make impact, why does it demand respect?
I like that example. I love that example.
Yeah. So that wasn't where I was going to when I said that. I'm talking about people who have made impact. We see, it's not about the qualification now, because we know that qualification does not come back to what you are able to put on ground.
Thank you that you have landed
people who have made impact. So, we see them in their industries. They have done it. They have made it.
Respect.
We should give them respect.
Okay, wait. Let me come to you. Let me come to you, Mr. Based on what Nima just said. So, in your family, for example, now, you're the youngest, but they are the most educated, the richest.
They put all their money on you.
I know they put all their money on you. And then you come in, the family wants to make a decision, and you want to be heard because you are the most educated, you are the wealthiest. You're practically paying them on salary. Shouldn't you be heard because you are the money bag? You are the money bag. Or should you humble yourself? Say, since I'm the youngest, so whatever you say. Because she's saying, no matter what, you're still the youngest.
Line up.
In that kind of situation, what do you think is advisable?
Well, I think humility boils down to the individual, and it cannot be taught to anyone. You see, so that you have the money, you are the least or you are the first, it would come naturally. You wouldn't have to fight for anything. When you know it's going to get to your turn, you just wait for it. You don't have to stress it. You don't have to. If you're humble, you don't have to say it. You just have to understand within yourself that, well, when it's my turn, I would get a chance eventually to speak. So I don't think there needs to be a struggle about what humility means or who needs to be humble. I think humility is just about the individual. You know, the person who understands that he doesn't need to show or prove to anyone before he's been heard. You know, even if you do not hear me, fine.
It's fine. It's okay.
I don't need to prove myself to you.
May I just add that, you know, like this family scenario you painted, we've seen families where they gather for a meeting, and we see that the first son is even the one who is humble. And you see those smaller ones, they're jumping, we fight here, we do this. Growing up, I had a lot of family, you know, meetings like that. I've seen my uncles throwing punches from different corners, you know, and the first son will just sit down and just be looking. I said, when are you people, do you people want to hear what I have to say now? You know, that's humility, you know. But if we now want to show that because I am, first of all, they sent you to school so that you come and help the family, right? And the people that sent you to school, if they feel they need to hear you and the help that you want to bring, they will give you a chance. When you're humble, you don't have to show that I'm the most intelligent here on this table. I must be the first person to speak. You wait. They give you the chance. If they don't still give you the chance, like you said, it's okay. A humble person will not go back crying that I wasn't heard today. It's fine. They can hear me another day.
You can, if you feel that you have the wealth of knowledge and experience to change the things, the situation, and at that time, it was about age, seniority at the meeting. You can calmly approach the most senior person.
A humble person has the right.
There's a tone of language. In my own place, you say, Rama, you humble, you descend to the point of that person because you need to make that point that you know would change the narrative. But you have to make it in the most respectable way. So you're still there, understanding your place and achieving your aim. But if you say I'm a lawyer.
Well, sometimes,
can I give one example?
See, you said that I'm a lawyer.
No, wait.
This one is happening right now.
Wait,
this one is happening right now. There's a show called Housewives of Potomac.
Yeah.
Okay. It's in America. A Nigerian lady now joined the group. So these are American women housewives. She now joined the group. She has told them, I've got a PhD, I have made this, I have made this. They constantly make fun of her because they feel she's bragging, because it's not the culture. But she will say to you, I'm confident. I earned all my degrees. I have, so when I talk about it, it's because this is who I am. But for them, their culture does not understand it.
The bragging.
You are who you are, we understand it, but you don't have to constantly put it in people's faces. So I think there's that Nigerian part of us where we have to speak up, we have to say what it is that we have. We are who we are.
It's a Nigerian thing to push you to say it. So once when
that's what I'm going to name.
When I just got called, I had a situation that happened. When I'm at home, I wear my kimar. So if I pass you, you don't know Nima. I wasn't even Nima of your view at the time. And my neighbor would say, they say this one a lawyer. I should take lawyer. So something happened once amongst the CD, and my husband had to go to the police station and say, God don't catch her. She be the wife and lawyer. She must show, And I kept hearing the same person over and over. And now today you now come, Auntie, please, I need advice. I'll be like, I wasn't a lawyer.
You gotta pay.
I never just felt, I was pushed to the point. I almost said to him, do you need to see my degrees? Do you
but let me come to you, Shehu, on that. Because when people confer on you that role, so you are the richest, youngest in the family, and you're just trying to mind your business and be humble. But all those mamas, the aunties, he has come, so our breadwinner has come, our culture make them celebrate you, elevate you so much. They're elevating you, but you see, they elevate at the detriment of the older people who are older than you, who feel like, auntie, we sent you to school, calm down. So society in itself pushes you and makes you have that shoulder-up behavior when you want to be humble. So in that situation, how do you handle it where everybody, the same thing without governors. A man come in and say, please don't call me Your Excellency, call me Mr. Governor. Just keep it simple. But no, they don't legit That's why they will sing the governor's men, governor's babes. They are singing.
They compare him constantly with Wike.
Yeah. Exactly.
People will say Wike is, some people will say he's brash, some people will say he's confident. And then they look at Mr. Governor and say that he's weak.
Yes.
Because he's much more refined in how he approaches things.
So how do people like that, therefore, are able to move forward in that kind of situation? What are your thoughts on these various personalities people confer on you?
Okay, thank you for that. It's whatever is ascribed to you, whatever is given unto you, or whatever you deserve. As a humble person, like I said, you cannot be thoughted. You have to understand your place. You have to know what exactly you carry, whether they give it to you or not. Whether you are being approached as someone who needs to be exalted or being placed in a high place. You, as a humble person, will just naturally not get that, let that get into your head.
Exactly.
You get, you just try as much as possible, because I know also as a celebrity, you would want to, a lot of people will see you and want to take pictures, they want to do a whole lot of things with you, but you have to have it at the back of your mind that, well, you wouldn't have been a celebrity if those people were not watching your movies in the first place.
True.
You have to give yourself an excuse to always stay level-headed. Wow, because if you're not, then the humility is out the window.
So let's take a few, as a wrap up on this, let's take a few messages so we can now go to your proper interview. I got somebody that says, in my opinion, humility comes with entrenched and internal wisdom. When you have heightened wisdom, humility comes natural. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so African Vanilla says, Mariah is getting it wrong. Humility doesn't mean selling yourself short or not presenting yourself well. Dressing well so that people take you seriously isn't pride. And dressing shabbily or casually doesn't make you humble. And some people, I love this, this says, some people take pride in humility. There's a paradox here somewhere.
Bilkis says humility doesn't mean timidity. I have never heard anyone say arrogancy is a virtue as to humility is a virtue. It shouldn't be mixed up. Being confident and assertive doesn't make you arrogant. It's a thin line. Looking down on others is arrogance.
Mojisola says, Mariah, shows what our value system has become. It's sad that we have become so materialistic that we do not pay attention to what truly matters. They were asking why Nima is beefing SFK.
All right. Oh, they even heard. I thought they didn't hear. All right, I have to wrap up, but let me wrap up with this. I got from another Mujisola, and I think it's really apt. So I'd like to end with this. She sent me a quote from Ademola Daniels. It says, quietness is not humility. Timidity is not humility.
No.
Confidence is not pride. Opinionated is not confidence.
Nope.
Assertiveness is not confidence.
Nope.
Talkativeness is not assertiveness.
Good.
They all have their meaning,
May I clap for
purpose,
that?
and intent. Be wise to draw the line and find your balance. Fantastic. That was from Ademola Daniels, but it was Moji that sent it to me. Thank you. I think it was perfectly apt to end this segment. Let's go on the break. When we come back, we'll now gist with our celebrity and find out more about his career. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
So that's our guest in action right there, Sheil Akindele. So I see how you're able to slide into the Yoruba, English-speaking movies easily. You know, it's like, it's no big deal for you. Was that intentional, or it just so happened that people were sending you scripts and you just accept it? Did you intentionally want to have both Yoruba and English movies, or it just happened?
Well, my entire career, I've always wanted to be known as an actor who is versatile. I didn't want to be stereotyped in any way. So whatever script that is challenging and interesting and informative, I would pick it up, be it Yoruba or English.
Yeah.
I wish I could speak Hausa or Igbo fluently. I would have been in some of those movies as well. So growing up in my career, I just wanted to be known as an actor who could do virtually everything.
There's hardly any movie that I have watched that I have not seen you inside. And so I used to think, watching you in movies, that you're someone who has no mindset to classy. In some movies, some people, they only appear as major role. They don't do any other thing. So any movie you see them, major role. How they do it, I don't know. But I've seen you, villain, I've seen you, you play well. So what kind of philosophy do you have that makes you accept whatever and believe that, you're still relevant without, being on all majors?
Thank you for that. In the course of my career, I've also been taught to understand and believe that there are no small roles, only small actors. So however little the role is, but it plays an important part in the whole story, because a movie, it's a collection of different stories, different instances. And if there are some movies you watch and then it's just that one scene you remember in the whole film. I would never forget the scene of Samuel L. Jackson robbing in the Coming to America movie, and it was just one scene.
Freeze, you disease right now.
Yeah, you get that. Yeah, so you see,
and that's many years after.
Yeah, you see. So I try to understand and make people understand that as long as I connect with the role, I connect with the story, I connect with the message. However small the role is, I would play to the best of my ability.
I like that. So, okay, go ahead. So, I want to ask the juicy question. I wanted them to go on with the boring question. So, best kiss category.
Okay.
I want to find out. I did not know that Nigerians will do best kiss category.
Indeed, they do.
So, what happened? I mean, how does someone get best kiss? What do you do? Do you take it a little further than, because we hear actors don't really kiss. They pretend to kiss.
Nigerians kiss.
Yes. So, what are we doing? What did you do differently?
Well, as an actor, you have to play. you have to play. Make every role believable. It is make believe. You have to make it believable.
So Auntie Thone doesn't mind. I mean, last year you celebrated your 5th wedding anniversary.
Yes, indeed.
So she doesn't mind you kissing?
She's my #1 fan.
Okay.
And she always tells me that. Before I broke through in the industry, she had always supported me. She understands that it is not an emotional connection, but a professional act. She understands all the nitty-gritties as regards our career. So she'd made it very easy for me and free-minded to go out there and put in my best.
Fantastic.
Yes.
I wish they can understand like that.
You know who I would like to interview, BC? RMD's wife. What's her name? Jumobi. Oh my Lord, I would love to speak to
Yeah,
that
there's some
woman.
spouses
I don't know. There's a man. I ain't letting you out. Movie?
You don't see James though.
But I'm saying, how you doing? So tell us.
Yeah, so I wish in my own case they would let me, because I wanted to be the kind
I will not let you. Why? You know your husband. If I catch you beating yourself, this is our arrest
I can do or don't do. But you started out, I saw you more on TV series.
Yeah.
I mean, TV series fan. And I know that actors for TV series are like a special kind of breed. There's something about those actors. They are very, I don't know the right word to use now. And I was thinking you would have loved to continue just in TV series, like just carve a niche for yourself in that, because you were really fantastic in most of the TV series I've seen you in. But how do you, which of them do you prefer, the movies or the TV series? And how do you navigate both? I don't think it's the same skill set.
No, indeed. You see, the scripts for TV series, they're always like this, and maybe in 3 batches. You get, so I basically started with Spiders by Mrs. Arike at that time, with Uncle Jumobi Lewis, and my mom was Mrs. Jaekuti. So you see, in most of those times when we were on set, I had learned to be able to carry my lines. Yes,
that's what you learn.
Yes. You see, I will be on set with Uncle Lewis, and then there are 4 pages, 7 pages, and then he's just seen it once or twice, and then he says, "Show, I'm ready." I'm ready. I'm like, "Uncle, hold on, what happened? How did you do it?" Yeah, you get. So I tried my best to learn, and then, like I said earlier on, that I didn't want to stereotype myself. Okay. That was why I did not remain in it. Not that I would not do it, not that I don't do it, but as much as I would like to be known as a versatile actor.
Right.
Yeah.
So recently I saw an interview of an actor who said that, the demands of acting cost family. That, she wanted to have that career, and so she had to give up family. And I felt she gave up life to have a career. That's how I felt about that interview. And I'd like to know how it feels for you to, to constantly do this and keep family. At any point in time, the demands come. How would you balance it?
I also ask that. Do you think it's different for a man or a woman who makes such sacrifices like that?
Wow, interesting question. The thing is, you cannot separate family from your life, neither can you separate your career from your life. What you just need to do is to be able to separate the both of them. By that I mean, you do not mix your family into your work, mix your work into your family. What I did was, when it was time to work, because I have the support of my wife, I can fully go into it and work. And when it is time for me to go on vacation, spend time with my wife,
you're invested.
I'm doing that, and then every other job that comes, I'm sorry. Because, this is...
I assume you have a difficult spouse now, and, my colleague just mentioned certain roles you want to do are not permitted from home. And so you think that way you're not growing. Or let's assume your wife demands certain things, like enough not for you to be kissing her, because, how would you deal with a spouse with special demands as against your career?
Well, I've not had that experience before, but I think when I have a spouse who is requiring special demand, I would have to first trash it out with her, because because I would not give up my career for the family. Because if the family is not good, the career is not going to work. You get, either the career can work and then the family can be bad. But it boils down to the individual, what you value most. If your job gives you bigger joy, than your family gives you a bigger joy, you know. So you have to put a whole lot of factors into place, into consideration. But
I noticed that a lot of men in your industry don't really project their wives out there, you know.
And it's zobe.
They always, when you go to parties, events, it's just the men we see. You know, we just, is that intentional? You try to just be this GQ guy, the ladies love, oh, want to take a selfie? And your wife rather just stay at home. Because we don't see that. Even, I was just in RMD, yes. Now, recent times, we've been seeing him taking photos. But in the past, she was totally in the background. Because maybe that's not her choice. It was her choice. But a lot of men don't hardly ever project their wives. Is that intentional or that's their own choice?
I wouldn't be able to speak for them because I'm not in their shoe, but I may just assume that sometimes it could be the wife who wants to just lay back because she may not be the type who likes or enjoys the paparazzi and all of that. And then sometimes it may just be so there won't be too many clash, you know, like whatever the reasons may be. I just think it may be wise for them individually to say, okay, I don't want you to be put out there. I want to be protective of what I've got. Right. You know, I don't want people to, you know, make approaches or advances at you.
All right.
You know, all of that kind of thing.
Are you stay on a bit on the kissing thing? So if you get a role to kiss like lady, and you don't like this person, so I know you are there to do a job, but there's something off you don't get, and then you get close and the mouth is smelling. What happens to your role as an actor? Do you take the role because you want to be a versatile actor, or do you decline and tell your director, can we have somebody else? What do you do in that situation?
Well, I'll pop a mint in my mouth and ask if she wants one.
Yeah, that's a good answer because I've heard some Hollywood actors talk about how they actually do it for fun. They would chew garlic, knowing that they're about to do a kissing role. You know, that makes just people
happy. So we have to wrap up soon. I want your career. So what are you working on? What's it out there for you? What are you doing? Are you still in the series, or is there a movie coming up soon? What are you working on?
Well, something very interesting is cooking.
Oh, fantastic.
Indeed. There's a movie called 4444, the 4th of April, 1944. We actually just got back with a group of colleagues and my producer from Beirut. We went to shoot for about a week or so. Yeah, in Lebanon, yeah. RMD was in the show.
Oh, wow.
Nse was in it.
I saw Nse.
Yes. Alibaba was in it. Yeah,
nice.
So it's a period piece that is about, it's coming soon. And it's
what happened on the 4th of April?
Are you related to Funke Akindele?
I'm sure you get that all the time.
You see, I get it all the time that I have to ask other people what she says as well. So she's not my sister biologically, but she's still my sister. You know, so
I hear you grew up in
We have to wrap up. Yeah?
Yes, indeed, I did.
Okay, so we have that in common.
Okay. Yeah, I did.
Last year.
Okay, thank you very much. It was a pleasure having you on the show.
Thank
you. Regards to Tom, Madame Tom. What do you call her? What's her pet name?
Baby.
Hey, baby. We gotta leave you, baby. We'll see you. Have a fabulous weekend. We'll see you Monday. Bye for now.